Not here still. Hold on. Video. Save. Boom.
Boom, we're here.
Can you hear me okay?
I hear you and see you loud and clear.
I'll put you right here. Cars these days. I'm in a car. I apologize.
I see that. Can I ask where exactly you are?
I'm in Port Perry, Ontario.
Poor pair. I'm in Toronto.
Oh, nice. Like an
Oh,
hour from Toronto. I'm looking at a lake right now. It's pretty nice.
yeah. Awesome. First of all, thank you for doing this. I appreciate it. Um, yeah, I'm all about Canadian artists, promoting Canadian music and talent. So I will say off the top, and I was talking with one of my followers, her name is Randall. She actually went to your show in Kitchener. She's a diehard fan.
I love
And
Randall.
honestly, if it wasn't for her, this may have never happened. So I really do appreciate her for getting me onto your music, and also for Adam, of course, for helping set this up. So thank you.
I love it. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. First off, congratulations. I see as of today, you're going to be opening for Tim McGraw soon.
Yes, that'll be at a festival in Quebec. So that just got announced today.
Yeah, so that must be exciting. How did that happen, or how did you hear about it?
That goes all through my booking agent. So he goes out and finds, who's looking for what, and he would have pitched me to, the festival, and they like my music. So bada boom, bada bang, I'm in.
Awesome. No, that's amazing. I would say, oh, okay. I don't know if you want to compare the two, but what do you say are you more excited for? Is it that, or when you first found out that you were going to be opening for Shania Twain?
I mean, Shania Twain was a tour, so that was really epic. And those were my first arena shows. So it was a very, very big deal for me.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So, looking you up, even going on your website, I think there's a thing where it says like you're like the Eminem of country music or something.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
I kind of see that in the sense that basically, I would say like you don't give a fuck. You just kind of say what's on your mind. No filter, which is a great thing. I think we need more of that. And of course, I think you'll get those critics saying, oh, like as a woman, oh, you got to be more reserved, and which is complete BS, obviously, right? So
Yeah.
talk about maybe your experience so far, especially in the country scene, where have you gotten a lot of blowback because of who you are, what your personality is?
Honestly, I haven't gotten too much blowback, which is kind of nice. I think the world is slowly but surely changing. And I always try to lead with kindness and positivity. And if people aren't down for that, I don't know what's going to make them happy. So, yeah, I say what's on my mind, but it's personal. So, like, nobody can really tell me I'm wrong. And there's nothing to really argue about.
Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, listen, that's great that you said there hasn't been much blowback, but as you know, there's definitely a double standard in just in society in general with what men do versus what women do. So,
Yeah,
and,
they're picky out there. But
mhm,
again, I'm just gonna keep being me, and they can either get on board or get out, and that's up to them. But I'm still gonna
exactly.
be around, and the people who appreciate real people are gonna like it. So
Exactly. No, and that's a great attitude. So let's get into the music a bit. Is your latest single is Match for a Memory? Is that your latest single?
that's my latest radio single here in Canada.
Okay.
So that one's currently at Canadian Country Radio. It's been getting a lot of ads recently. So if you guys are in Canada, feel free to request it at your local station, and then let me know about it. But no, so yeah, that's my newest single at radio.
Okay. So great song, first of all. I think like some of your other songs, talks about, being in relationships, and a lot of people maybe after a breakup try to forget that person, but with someone like yourself, it's just impossible to forget, I guess, right? But
Could you forget me? How could you forget me?
exactly. So one line I love where it says, "But you can't incinerate what you keep on reminiscing." That really stuck to me because I think again, no matter what you get rid of the physical stuff, there's certain things you just can't get rid of, like those moments that you spent with someone, right? So
The
can you talk about
memories, the moments. You can't forget them. There's
yeah,
no cheap, easy trick. There's no match that can burn them. So yeah, that's kind of what the song's about. You just can't get rid of it, no matter how hard you try. It takes a lot of therapy. So
yeah, exactly. And I definitely noticed a bit of a theme between that song and F-150, which we'll talk about shortly, of course. There's a bit of fire involved in both. I want to know if that was purposely done, if you have some obsession with fire, or if there's more symbolism with that.
I do love fire. I am a Leo. That is my element. That is my horoscope. But no, I really like it. I think you can tell a lot of a story through fire, and I've always loved bonfires and stuff like that. And we have a great special effects team that we work with and have a great relationship with. So whenever we want to do a music video, you know, he was first in mind.
Okay. No, it's great. I love it. It was like a combination of fire and fireworks. And were you like scared at all, like while you were recording that?
No, I trust James Sled with my life, apparently. But no, I'm not really scared of that stuff. I should be probably more scared, to be honest. But no, I trust the team.
Yeah. Let's move on to another song. This is like so we have like match for memory, which is maybe I don't want to say it's more lighthearted, but then you do have more serious songs. I would say in the sense of Katie's song, which is about your
Yeah.
sister, right? And I actually talked with another Canadian country artist, Dustin Bird, whether you're familiar with
Okay.
him or not. Yeah.
Yeah, I
And
know Dust.
yeah, so I actually spoke to him like 2 days ago. He has a song called Hating on Love, which talks about the stigma that, the people in the LGBTQ community face, especially in the country scene.
Yeah.
I assume that's what your song, Katie's song, is about. Can you talk about, I guess, the inspiration behind that song?
Yeah. I mean, I grew up with my sister Katie. That's how sisters work most of the time. You grow up with them. And there was a lot of songs with her name in them on country radio. We listened to country radio growing up. And I was really jealous because I was like, how come Katie gets all these songs and there's nobody singing about a Robyn? And then, times change. We grew up. She came out um, when I was probably 19. She came out, but I kind of knew through high school just because you know these things in high school. And yeah, and it's like, yeah, those songs weren't even her song. So I just kind of wrote the song one day, being like, here's another song with Katie's name in it. But obviously with her story, and it's Katie's got a girlfriend. And it's just like not even a song that like pokes at people or is trying to be political in any way. It's more like, this is my life story. This is my truth. And it's like a very celebratory song. It's like love is love. Like Katie's got a girlfriend. It's kind of hype. So yeah,
No, it's amazing. And I think, I'm sure, whether you realize it or not, you are making an impact on people who maybe don't feel like they have a voice. So I think
yeah,
like yourself and Dustin just need to keep doing those type of songs. So,
yeah,
um, and another song again, kind of in the same, it's a little bit more, no, I guess it's serious, is Sad to Work. And I think that one I feel like would hit home with a lot of people because first of all, you talk about your experience where you used to be a server, right? Back
yes.
in the day. Where did you serve, by the way? Where'd you work?
I served at Clem's Wing Shop in Uxbridge that's no longer there, and then a pub called Wixon's Bridge. So I served for about 5 years.
Okay. Did you
And
like
then
it?
I liked serving, to be honest. I'm a chit chatty kind of gal. I loved the money, and it paid for all my music. So, yeah, I liked serving. I mean, not every day is a great day, and there's some customers that say weird, mean things. But for the most part, I had a great crew that I worked with, which was nice. But yeah, it's hard when you have to be nice to people, and that's like being nice and like working hard is the way to get money in waitressing, so you can't call inside to work.
And if someone says, and she made the best London fog.
Yeah, I used to be a barista after I waitressed, so I used to make James a lot of London fogs.
Okay. No, but again, with that song, it really, again, if people listen to it, it just shows that we all have these times where we just feel like shit. We don't want to show up to work or even, I want to say to life in general, but we have to put on a face just to get through those days. So can you just talk a bit more, maybe your experiences? I think because I feel like as a performer, people are like, oh, you just get to sing, you have a great time. But no, you go through rough patches, right?
Yeah. Um, oh, as a performer, I mean, I always say I'd rather struggle doing music than struggle in any other career. Like if I'm not getting sleep, I'd rather it be for music than for waitressing. But yeah, it's hard when you're running on like no sleep and you have to get up and perform. But I'll never complain. That's one thing. I will never complain. But yeah, it takes a really big toll on your mind and your body. And like the other week, I was awake for 25 hours straight. Um, and I think before I played that show, I would have been awake for 20 hours at that point when I played the show. So it takes a lot and you're tired, but you got 45 minutes on that stage to make a lot of new fans. And the last thing you're going to do is call in sad to work. So I really enjoy it despite the lack of sleep and the mental health struggles.
Like you said, you really need to be passionate about it. Otherwise, you probably wouldn't do it if you know you had to deal with like those sleepless nights, right? So,
Oh yeah, like it's definitely a very hard career. You would have to really, really love it if you want to make it. Um, and like coming from someone who really loves it, like it's still a struggle. But as
yeah.
always, there's going to be struggles in any career that you have. You just got to pick what's worth struggling for.
Let's get away from music for a little bit. I just want to get to know you a bit better. First of all, you love sharks. You have a shark tattoo, right?
I love
Yeah.
sharks.
Is it
Yes.
fair to say if it wasn't for music, would your job be working with sharks in some way?
Yeah, I actually wanted to go to university to be a marine biologist and go study sharks.
Okay.
But life has its way of pushing you in different directions and throwing you curveballs. So I did not end up getting to go to university for marine biology. But life worked out anyway, so that's all right.
I mean, you could still go back to it later on, no, if you want.
I could always go back. The sharks will always need saving.
Is it true your email was goblinsharksrule@hotmail.com?
Yeah, where'd you hear that?
It's a great email. You're Robyn Ottolini. We have to know.
Yeah, I literally just told my friend that I'm starting like a podcast and we were talking about what our MSN handles were back in the day. And mine was goblinsharksrule@hotmail.com. But I'm like, how did you find out?
It's
That's
an old,
crazy.
I just, literally just an old interview you did and I just watched it.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah, it was actually like, it's funny. So speaking of that one, the guy that I think his show is called like Barn 49, if that rings a bell.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
anyways, we were talking, and it's funny. You said you would, just before you went on with him, you were finishing up the vocals on "Hold Me Back," which I
Oh,
love.
wow.
Great song. I
Thank
know it's
you.
not your more recent one, but is it true? Also, you said like were you inspired by like Timon and Pumbaa or something, or you were talking about Timon and Pumbaa, but why?
Yeah, because when we wrote that song, it was during the pandemic. And so me and two of my friends, we were celebrating something and we were on Zoom and we were like wasted. My one friend doesn't even remember writing the song. Like he doesn't remember being there. And I was like, I do a lot of impressions of cartoon people for fun. And so
Hmm.
I was like impersonating Timon and Pumbaa, like, hold me back, Pumbaa, hold me back. And then I was like, oh, that would be a fun song. And then we just wrote it. So that's what it was inspired by.
Okay. No, I always think I have a good ear for music. I was like good eye, but I feel like that. I don't know if it was considered a single, but I really that should be like a big single for you, in my opinion. It's a great song.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you.
So.
Yeah, it's crazy. That one was like the one we were like Tell You Everything was the single off that EP. And then we were like
Mhm.
Hold Me Back would be the second one. But people really latched on to Sincerely Drunk Me. So we kind of like ran with that and promoted that one a lot more, I guess.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, but we play Hold Me Back in the live show and it's like got all that energy. So it's really good.
Yeah, no, for sure. But I guess it is safe to say F-150, that's still the go-to, I guess, right? So, first of all,
Still
is
my
it
biggest
true?
one.
Yeah, it's the biggest song. I bet you mentioned how I think it's gotten like over 40,000 replays on, or people have over 40,000 people have used that sound on TikTok.
Yeah, a lot of people use that sound. It was crazy.
Yeah, so that obviously helped a lot. I mean, I know it's like a stupid question, but like when you made that song, like, did you have any idea that like people would like latch onto it or have a connection to it at all, or you just like what did you think about that
No,
song?
no,
No.
I was a small artist from Ontario. I never expected anything from anything. I didn't even know how TikTok really worked. I mean, I loved the app, so I was always on it. But like, I didn't plan for that, that's for sure. And it was crazy. Like, just the snowball that that song was.
Yeah, it was big. Can you do you like F-150s? Would you want to get one ever, or is it like no, never?
No, I like them. Great truck. I
Okay.
get why they're one of the most popular ones in America. My dad drives an F-150. It was just like so happened that my ex drove one too, so that's where it came from.
Speaking of your dad, I'm glad you brought him up because another song that I really like. Again, I like so for me, it's like I listen to music a lot, and you really focus usually on like the sounds, the instrumentals. But for me, especially doing these interviews, I try to focus on the lyrics more so I can get to know the person more. So, Daddy's Daughter, one of those songs where it starts off with a little voicemail of him. Which, by the way, your dad's name is Steve.
Yeah.
Steve. I like in the song you said he's the reason that I love country music and the first to hear all my songs. So can you just talk a bit about your relationship with your dad and why he means so much to you?
Yeah, my dad's dope. He's never yells. He's a very calm man. He likes to watch TV and hang out and drink beer. And he has always loved country music. So he's the one who put it on the radio when I was a kid growing up. So he's the reason I like country music. And I like to show him all the songs I write. As if I usually know what songs he'll like and what songs he won't like. So if I know he'll like a song, he's usually one of the first people, if not the one person I send it to be like, hey, I think you'll like this one. Enjoy. So he's always the first to hear my songs.
That's awesome. Does he
Especially
ever?
when we were younger, I'd like write it and then walk downstairs and like show him the song.
Oh, that's amazing. Does he ever?
Yeah.
Did he ever go on tour with you?
He came to one of the Shania shows, the last one, and he went to the UK with me to, I was playing C2C Music Festival, so I flew him out for that because his family's from the UK and he really likes England. So I was like, when else am I gonna fly my dad out to his show? So I
Yeah.
brought him there. Trying to think if he's been. Oh, and then he did 3 shows of the Tyler Rich tour with me. He drove with me from Ontario. So yeah, he's dope.
In terms of like, so you said like you tell your dad everything, and he's the reason you got into country. What's like one thing you would love to say to him in terms of like accomplishments when it comes to music? What's the one thing you would love to say? Like, hey, I did this, Dad, or I got this.
I would love to say that I got a #1 at radio. He obviously raised me on country radio, so I feel like that would be huge for him. Um, I mean, I already told him I was opening up for Shania. He loved that. So I think like a #1 at country radio would get him really stoked. Or like maybe like I sold out my first show or something. Because I haven't done my own. Well, I've done a headlining show, but I haven't done a headlining tour. So I think being able to tell him like I sold out one of my headlining tour shows would be pretty cool. But I think it's definitely a #1 at country radio. He would be really stoked.
Yeah. By the way, you got like I saw you Shania duetted your video, which is awesome. Like a while
Yeah.
ago, I guess.
Yeah,
So,
back in the day, I think that was in like 2021. Yeah.
so speaking of like headlining stuff, so I've talked to a bunch of Canadian artists, and just I guess you could call it a struggle, especially being in the Canadian bubble, and most artists, especially country, go to Nashville to try to achieve maybe bigger dreams. So is that or have you stayed in Nashville, or what's your plan, or what have you done?
Yeah, I live in Nashville for the most part. I have a house there that I bought, and I write there and I record music there and I have friends there. So I try to be there as much as I can. But with this life, you are wherever your suitcase is and wherever your plane ticket tells you you are. So
Yeah.
yeah, so I'm heading back to Nashville on Sunday. After I got a show this Friday, and then I got a bachelorette party. And I'm driving back to Nashville on Sunday.
Okay. You have a song that's called 5 Years, and you talk about like you don't care, basically what'll happen if you have a shitty apartment, but you just said you hope you love yourself or you don't hate yourself. So
Yeah.
in 5 years, where do you see yourself? What do you think you'll be doing, or what do you hope to achieve in 5 years?
I mean, the answer is always going to be I hope I'm don't hate myself. Hope I'm happy. Hope I made choices I'm proud of. Um, hope I'm proud of the music I make. Like if the next songs are the last songs I get to do, I hope I never regret them. Stuff like that. I don't know personal life where I'll be in 5 years, though. Hopefully by a water somewhere, sitting, enjoying the view, just happy, beer in my
Sure.
hand, a vodka
Oh,
soda. I don't know. Um,
yeah.
I don't see myself married by then. That seems crazy. Which means no kid by then, because I don't know. Seems like a long, seems like a short amount of time. 5 years isn't very long, but life changes pretty quick, so we'll see. Where's
It
the show? The
does.
show is up in Thunder Bay.
Ooh, Thunder Bay. Listen, 5 years, especially for you in your 20s, so a lot can change, and like once you get to your 30s.
Yeah,
So,
I'm gonna be 28 this month, so 2 years to my 30s. So I've been
okay,
listening to a lot of Boston accents lately. Um,
okay.
2 years to my 30s, but I feel like life is an unexpected journey, so I'll see where I go.
As long as you have Alu with you.
Yep, I love my dog. She's pretty
Where,
dope. Um,
where is she?
she's at my parents right now, so I'll drive home after this. But I don't want to. I don't want to interview and drive at the same time. That's just crazy. Um,
Probably shouldn't do that.
yeah, I gotta go drop off Twister at my friend's house so she can take it to the bachelorette party because I am gonna be a day late because I got my show. But I'm
Okay.
still showing up, which not many musicians can say because our lives are so busy. But it
Yeah.
just so happened I get to go to the bachelorette and I get to go to the wedding. Um, And then, so I'm going to drop that off at her house because she's busy and working till 9. And then I'm going to go back to my parents, see Lou. And then all tomorrow I will be packing because I got to do Thunder Bay. I got to pack for the bachelorette. And I have to pack for a month and a bit at home in Nashville all before I go. So
You're
it's going to be a
busy.
long Thursday. Yeah.
By the way, I guess before I forget about F-150, are there any creative videos that you came across when people used your sound, used the song in like on TikTok?
Um, I started a trend with that song. So a lot of the people did kind of like the trend that I made where they kind of said their ex's vehicle in it. I'm trying to think if there's anything like majorly creative, but it
Hmm.
was a while ago and it was all a blur.
It was
But maybe
COVID,
if I
yeah.
remember it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Make sure you try Persian treat when you go to Thunder Bay. Roger Dodger. I'll do my best.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't even know what a Persian is that. No, I'm thinking about what's the Turkish delight? That's different. Never mind.
Yeah, that's different. Um, because that's
Uh,
from Narnia. So,
what
like the movie Narnia, they have Turkish delights in it. And that's
the
like the candy the little child keeps eating. It's a
what
Turkish
like
delight.
the line "The Witch in the Wardrobe"?
Yeah, Narnia.
Yeah, yeah, that's a long time ago. I'm 35. I'm an old man, so it's a long time. So
Yeah, same. Persians are a cinnamon bun with strawberry like pink frosting. Sounds like I'm gonna need a lot of insulin for that, but I'm down. I'll take a bite or two.
oh yeah, I learned some fun facts. You're a type 1 diabetic.
Yes.
You got a scar off in your left eye from a golf club, apparently.
Yep.
What did someone just take a swing at you?
I was being babysat by one of my neighbors, and there was a kid, like a little younger than me, and we were just out back hitting golf balls, and I guess I was standing too close to him, and he just like hit it, and I was bleeding. And they didn't even call my mom. My mom came and picked me up, and I just had this big gash, and she's like, "What the heck?" And then she took me to the ER, and I got like 5 stitches.
Jesus. All right. Oh, well, shit. Kids do all the type of shit when they're younger, so
Yeah,
surprising. Let me
yeah.
ask you, which song up until this point are you most proud of?
I think Match for My Memory. I really love that song. Um, I remember writing with Emily and just thinking like this one feels really good. This one feels right. So I'm really proud of that one. And then I almost didn't cut it. And then someone said go with your gut. So I did Match and it's doing incredibly. So I'm really happy I listened to my heart.
Yeah, listen with your gut and your heart. It always steers you in the right direction. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's a great song. It really is, and I think there's a lot of memorable lines. And like I said, the one "But you can't incinerate what you keep in" on reminiscing. I think it's someone gets people thinking. I think. And listen, as
Yeah.
you know, everyone go like a lot of your songs are about relationships and heartbreak. And apparently, one of your biggest heartbreaks was someone broke up with you by text, which is obviously the worst move. But a lot of people have experienced that. I'm not
That
saying
was the F-150 guy.
oh, perfect. It doesn't discount what you went through. Like, listen, I've been ghosted. We've all been ghosted at some point. It
Yeah.
sucks. I'm curious though. Do you ever feel? Because I know, like, I guess the person with like who people like to talk about is like Taylor Swift and how she writes songs about her exes. I guess, right?
Yeah.
Is there a point with you where do you still feel the need to talk about relationships, or is that your focus still, or are you moving on from that? Like, where is your head at with all that?
I usually write with what I'm going through, and when I'm this busy, relationships are kind of all I'm going through.
Mm,
Um, but this next EP that I'm going to be releasing has a song about my friends on it. It has a song about my thoughts on intimacy. It has a song about the house that I grew up in. So I'm kind of branching a bit away from relationships in this next EP, and I'm very excited about it.
okay.
There's still a few. There's one breakup song that's very different than my other breakup songs, and there's one that's not a breakup song, but it has to do with a relationship that I'm very excited about.
Very nice. I was just going to ask you next. So, what are the plans? So, you said you're working on a new EP.
Yeah.
Um, and then for the rest of the year, is that it? Or any just focusing on singles?
Um, I'm curious about more shows in the fall. I'm all August I'll be recording, and then I'm just gonna be releasing. Just working my little booty off. Her songs helps me and my daughter with my abusive relationship with her dad. I am so healthy. I could help. We love you, Haley. I hope
Yeah.
you're in a better place.
Yeah, no, hopefully you get to do more shows. You did Boots and Hearts in the past, right?
Yeah, last year.
Yeah, it's too bad you're not going to be at this one because this year is Nickelback and they were your first band you ever saw.
Yeah, they were my first concert.
Yeah.
But Boots and Hearts has been so kind to me. I've been there the past 3 years,
Okay.
and they kept putting me on bigger and bigger stages.
Hmm.
So I think it's time for me to take a break from Boots. They've just been so nice to me.
We'll give little bands like Nickelback a shot. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Mm.
yes, you gotta make way for the little guys, you know.
Listen, I don't know about you, but like they've definitely come full circle in the sense that people are finally giving them the credit that they deserve. Like, because like in the 2000s and 2010s, it was cool and hip to hate on them. That's not the case anymore,
I
right? So
never hated them. I don't know why anybody was hating. Songs are bangers.
honestly, it's people like me who live in the city. Like, I'll be real. Yeah, but it's bullshit. My favorite band growing up was Backstreet Boys and still is, but I was like slightly ashamed when I was young because like, oh, I shouldn't like Backstreet Boys. I'm not. I'm a guy. Stupid shit like that. But
Good music's good music. You can't argue it.
exactly. Thank you. Yes, and your music is good music. So
Thank you.
of
There's no
course,
judgment here. Love who you love, okay? If you love the Backstreet Boys, you love the Backstreet Boys. Who's yelling? Not me.
who's yelling? No, yeah, that's pretty much all I got, Robin. But like, thank you so much. Like again, like you're just really down to earth, and just seeing from your social media and just chatting. I think people can relate to you in many
Thank
ways.
you.
You
I
know,
hope I
um,
talked smart.
you talked I'm terrible at this and I'm still doing these interview things, so I'll post clips of like some of them just to promote the songs and stuff. And
Yeah.
yeah, hopefully I'll catch you, I don't know, somewhere either in Toronto, or I don't know if I'm ever in Nashville. I gotta go there one day, so yeah, we'll
Yeah.
see.
No, I'll definitely I hope I'm playing close to the city in this fall. Let's cross our fingers. All good vibes. It'll be
Yes.
great.
Awesome, well thank you again, and yeah, have a good rest of your day.
Thank you. Bye.
Yeah.